welcome back to my channel. I have got another book video for you today. I did one of these last month and I'm hoping to do one every month moving forward. These will be the books that I've read from March 10th through April 10th. I don't know how the 10th of the month became the day. It just was like when it worked to film the first one, so we're gonna run with it. My lighting situation is better today than it usually is. This looks dark right here, I know, but that is my TV right there. But I do have some cute Disney shelves behind us, so we'll go with it. A little bit of glare on the glasses. You know, as I always say, we are super professional around here. But yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about the books that I read this month. I read a couple more this month than last month, and I'm well on my way to reading even more for the coming month. Really getting into reading. We're really just diving back into it. I've always loved reading, but I had kind of fallen off for a while. I don't really know why, but I'm back on it and super loving it. So let's just jump right in. So I have a bunch of different categories, and I tend to always have at least one book from each category that I'm reading at a time. I get bored otherwise. So the first category is classic books. I always love to have a classic book that I'm reading, and this month's was Alice in Wonderland. So it's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I love the artwork on this book. Isn't that pretty? I just think it's so pretty, the purples and blues. These books are from Barnes & Noble. They do a whole bunch of different sets of books in this style. Some classics, I think they're mostly classics actually. But they do them in this kind of neat artistic style, and I just really like them. Even the art inside is just so cool. So I've read Alice in Wonderland before. I've seen the movie. I know the story, so there was nothing new here, but it just was really, really fun. These are books that they either remind me of my childhood or they're just very easy to get lost in because they're just so colorful and so well written. And so yeah, I always like to have a classic, and it was Alice in Wonderland this month. And then I have a couple of nonfiction books, and this month I read this one first. It's called Awake and Alive to Truth by John Cooper. John Cooper is the lead singer of the rock band Skillet. I don't know if you've heard of them or not. They have been one of my favorite rock bands for quite a while. But we just recently started listening to a podcast that he puts out called Cooper Stuff. And that's where we heard about the book, so we decided to get it. And basically it's sort of a little testimony. He's a Christian, so it's a little book about his testimony and his faith and sort of the foundations of being a Christian. So if you have any interest in what it's all about to be a Christian, this would definitely be a good book to start with. Yeah, and his podcast is really fun. I guess I shouldn't say that. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's just interesting. He talks about a lot lately about politics and worldview things, and it's all from a biblical perspective and a Christian faith worldview. Very conservative, but he also will throw in like cultural things, like some of his older podcasts. He did some things about some of the Marvel characters and some of that. So there's some fun stuff if you're interested in checking it out. I'll link his YouTube channel in the description, but yeah, this was a really good book, and this one's only available on his website, I believe, at the moment, so I'll link that below too. And then the other nonfiction one, because Easter weekend was just this past weekend, I thought this was fitting. It's called 6 Hours One Friday. It's by Max Lucado. I don't know exactly when this came out. Take a quick peek here. 1989, yeah. I've read this many times. Max Lucado is one of my favorite Christian authors with regards to nonfiction Christian books. But yeah, it's basically, he writes in like short chapters, kind of story format, relating it to real life practical applications. So that's why I like to read his books, and he's written on a number of topics. But this particular one was based on 6 Hours One Friday, obviously being Good Friday, talking about the day that Jesus was crucified. So it was just kind of an appropriate timed read, I thought, to stick in there. And again, if you're a Christian, definitely would be one that you would maybe be interested in reading. So okay, now we're on to the fiction books. So I'm still reading the Left Behind series, which I talked about last month. It's a fictional series of books based on the events of Revelation. So sort of what the world could possibly be like after the rapture leading up to Armageddon. So totally fictional, but based on the Bible, if that makes sense. The authors are Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. It's their take on what it could possibly be like. It's very, very interesting. And I think I said this last month too. Honestly, even if you do not share my same beliefs or my same faith, I think you would find the stories really appealing. A lot of action, fast-paced moving in. Yeah, just lots of twists and turns, and really, really good. So I read the 3rd volume of the series, which is called Nicolae. Nicolae is the Antichrist. That's his character in the book, so it's kind of his rise to power. And then the 4th book is called Soul Harvest, just continuing the story. It's basically the aftermath of a global earthquake that happened in the end of the 3rd book, and where our main characters are and who survived and how the story's going to progress from here. So I don't want to give anything away. It's hard to review books without giving away too much, but they're very, very good. They're very exciting. I would highly, highly recommend that you check those out if you're interested. And then the last 2 books that I read this month are Star Wars books. So the first one is this Lost Tribe of the Sith. It's a collection of short stories about the Sith. So good. It's many different short stories, I think 8 or 9 of them, but they all connect. So it's like, here's this story that happened, and then there's a time jump, and then here's what's happening now, and then a time jump, and it continues, and they're so good. And I will say, I think you do have to be a fan of Star Wars, probably, to appreciate these. The Jedi and the Sith and lightsabers and all of that good stuff. But maybe not. They're very well written, very fast paced, I really, really am enjoying them. And yeah, like I said, this one was basically sort of a history of the Sith. This one takes place, I think, about 5,000 years or so, up to 2,500 years or so before the Battle of Yavin. So if you know Star Wars, you know all of that. All of that stuff. If you don't, maybe this one isn't for you. I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. I've always kind of had a weird fascination with the bad guys in Star Wars. So reading about the Sith has been really, really interesting for me. Not that I like the bad guys better than the good guys, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I would highly recommend that. And then the other Star Wars book that I finished, I don't have it here with me because Jason is currently reading it, so he brought it with him to work today. I did include it in the photo that I'm going to use for a thumbnail. I think I'm going to use anyway. It'll be in this video somewhere, so you'll see the cover, but I have the title written down here. It's called The Old Republic Revan. So I'm starting to read the books from the Old Republic, and I think I explained this before. We're reading all the books from the Legends side, not current canon, but the Legends. And we're in the Old Republic right now, and this one's called Revan. Revan is a Jedi, and the premise of the book, which you could get even from reading the cover, is he is a Jedi who was turned to the dark side for a while and then brought back. So super fascinating if you're a Star Wars nerd like me. And it's kind of the story of him and his family, and they do a lot of backstory telling of what happened during that sort of dark period. But then there's a lot of current, kind of trying to make amends. There is a large story internally, kind of part of the story regarding the Mandalorians, which I found really, really interesting. And yeah, it was just, it was a really good one. Again, super fast paced, really good. I feel like that's what I say about all these books, but I've just been picking some good ones lately. And to be fair, only 3 books this month are books that I have already read. So maybe next month we'll have to get on some books that I haven't already read previously. The Left Behind series, obviously, I read those already. And that 6 Hours One Friday and Alice in Wonderland, those are stories I've already read. So yeah, gonna have to throw in a couple more new ones this next month. But anyway, yeah, so that's what we read this month. So quick overview. Star Wars books, we read The Lost Tribe of the Sith, The Collected Stories, highly recommend, and The Old Republic Revan. There will be a picture of the cover of that book someplace in this video, along with the other books. And then we've got the next two installments of the Left Behind series, Nicolae and Soul Harvest. We've got the 2 nonfiction selections this month, 6 Hours One Friday and Awake and Alive to Truth. And last but definitely not least, we've got the classic, Alice in Wonderland. So those are the books for this month. Like I said, I'm already finishing up some of the books for this coming month, so there's going to be a lot more this coming month, I think. This one's a nice short video. I have a feeling the next one is going to be pretty long, but we'll see if I keep up my pace. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I really enjoy videos where people talk about what they're reading, because I get ideas, and so hopefully you'll get some ideas here. I will put links in the description for any of these books that I am able to find online if you're interested in purchasing them or checking them out. Otherwise, most of these are probably also available on like Audible and things like that if you like to listen to them that way, or on your Kindle. Yeah, and I would love to hear your thoughts. If you've read any of these same books as me, what did you think of them? Or do you have any recommendations for me? I'm always looking for new book recommendations. So if you have any books that you think I should try or that you'd like to hear my take on, I would be happy to entertain pretty much any book to read. I've got a Kindle, so sometimes I'll get them on there if I don't want to get the hardcover, but I am kind of old school in that I like to actually have the books like in my hand, paperback books. So not necessarily paperback, that was wrong. Just the pages and the binding and the actual physical copy of the book. Anyway, I'm gonna get babbly here pretty soon, so we're gonna let this be the end of it. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. It just helps me to know whether or not this is something people enjoy watching. Feel free to comment if you'd like. My Instagram is also always in the description box, so send me a message there if you want. And yeah, looking forward to hearing all of your recommendations, and can't wait to share another month of books next month. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.